What's up, guys? Today we're going to do Puzzle Rush. For those that don't know, Puzzle Rush is when you just do puzzles, and when you get 3 puzzles wrong, you're out. My best score was 39. You could see best today 39. It was also my top score, and I have the proof here to show it. Look at that. Very nice. And I got 30 puzzles in a row without any mistakes. So we're going to try to recreate that, going for 50 puzzles. I'm also a 1600 rated player, you can see here. So hopefully I can give some insight to some people, or you guys could give some insight to me. So again, we're going to try to go for 50 to beat my record of 39. We'll see what happens. And I'm just going to go over my thought process along the way and some information that might be helpful for some of you guys. So let's start. Also, this is day 65 in my journey to 2000. Okay. That was a simple back rank checkmate. We'll probably see them more often, but a lot of these early ones are going to be checkmates. Here we have the check, which is a checkmate unless the queen takes back, which he's forced to do. And then we come in with the rook, and it's checkmate with 2 rooks, right? Okay. This, I feel like, is very common in endgames, where you'll have, so our pieces are going this way. You'll have this, well, not in this manner, but you'll have a king that blocks off the other king's access. And you can come through with a checkmate with a rook. And that happens kind of often. Here's another back rank mate. Back rank mate just means the king can't escape, right? Here we have takes, 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 king can't escape, can't block it, can't take our rook. That's why it's checkmate. Another example of a back rank, of a mate with the rook and the king blocking the king, right? Okay. A very common checkmate is when a queen uses minor pieces, or actually any piece really, to help it checkmate, right? A lot of times it'll be from a long distance away. A lot of beginners will fall for it, but the queen can also use pawns. And you just want to make sure that the square you're attacking is not defended by any other piece, and it's not in this case. And the king can take, because, you know, if the king takes the queen, the pawn takes back, right? So that's an illegal move for the king to take the queen there, and that's why that works. Here we have that, what we just talked about. The knight supports the queen this time. A lot of times you just get straight into the face of the king, and that's how you can get the checkmate. And again, the knight supports the queen here. This one also, the bishop now supports the queen. You might be wondering, how do I see it so fast? Or you might be wondering, how do you see it so slow? Slowly. But I see it fast because just after doing puzzles for so long, you start to see certain patterns that kind of come up again and again. Like here I look for my pieces and see what they're doing, right? I see that my king is kind of scared over here, but I'm looking aggressively first, and the queen can come here with the bishop supporting it, right? You don't want to take with the bishop. The queen comes with check, and the bishop supports it, so it's checkmate, right? This is an interesting one. I've actually done this in a game once. I have it in one of my videos. You push the king to the corner, and then it acts like a back rank mate. You could give up your queen and come in with a back rank mate. Here the bishop supports the queen again. Make sure you go to a place that's not defended, right? This is not defended, which is why that works. Okay, this is the first one I have to think about a little bit. I'm not sure what the best move here actually is. I'm tempted to bring my bishop to check. So we're in puzzle 13, and it's a little hard for me already. I'm tempted to come here with a check. He can't take our rook because the bishop covers the rook. He can't go out. He could take our bishop. So let's see all the options. Taking the bishop. We come in with the queen. There's nothing attacking our queen on that square. So check, takes, check. He could go back to the same area. Actually, he's forced to, and this is checkmate. Now, what if he goes to the side here instead? What then? That's not what we want, right? If he goes to the side, we have this check. Now, he could go to the corner. You see, it's more interesting this way. Because if we take with the bishop, he goes to the side. We have this check, and then our queen is getting in 2 ways. So I believe this works, but let's actually think it through. Oops. Check. Takes. No. Check. Goes to the side. Check. If takes, we have checkmate. Check. Goes to the side. Check. if goes to the corner here, we have checkmate. So yeah, I think this is checkmate no matter what. So he takes there. It's actually the easiest one to calculate when he takes, which is kind of funny. We have this and that, which was the first thing we calculated. I think calculation is super important. You got to do it even when you don't want to, you know? Okay. Right away, I see this move. Coming here and then coming here. So the bishop is going to act as support for the queen as it does. And he might push the pawn here. Yeah. But we have that kind of attack there. Let's see. This check just looks like a checkmate, unless I'm missing something. We could see it's our queen acts as support, which is a little more rare. But this square h2 is not protected by anything except the king, so it's just an automatic checkmate. Here it looks like a similar... Oh, this type of checkmate is actually pretty cool. This has to do with pinned pieces, pieces that can't move because of pieces behind them that either you don't want to move or you can't. In this case, the king, you can't move, right? If I'm attacking the piece on the same diagonal or the same line. So here the solution is checking. The king can't move. You have to block, and then you check with the bishop. And the rook can't go back and block because your rook here is actually pinning the rook to the king, if that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, you should look into pins and forks. I think that can that leveled up my ELO, my chess ranking from like 1100 to 1300 or something like that. So let's just make sure this, he can't block. That looks right. Okay, yeah, and he moves away. That's his only move because he gets checked. He can't block because then the rook would eat the king. And then you just come in and eat the king or, you know, checkmate. Okay. This just looks like checkmate. Unless I'm missing something. The king can't escape. It's a protected square. That was very simple. This is a cool one, I think. A lot of times pawns can be very useful towards the end of the game. In end games, basically. I think this leads to checkmate. That's just my intuition. Because if the bishop takes, so the bishop might be... The bishop is not forced to take, actually. The opponent can come here, but then we come in with this checkmate, right? And he can't escape because our king is there. So yeah, the bishop would be forced to take, and then we come in with this capture with a check. Now these two pawns will do a lot of work stopping the king from going anywhere. He can't take it because of our rook. He goes to escape, but our bishop comes in. He can't come forward because of our king, right? And if that was confusing to you, try to like open up a chessboard and figure it out, you know, figure out each move and why it works. But that was that puzzle. So they're starting to get a little bit more complicated. Okay, so this is black to move. This is, again, the same exact idea as before. Like, everything looks super scary, but we just have checkmate with the rook. Very common rook-type checkmate. Here, this looks like the go-to move. And it is. And we're going to see that the queen and rook work very well. On the 7th or 2nd rank, it's very good to put a rook and queen or two rooks. They can do a lot of work. They can checkmate a lot of the time. And it's because the king is just limited by the directions it could go. In an endgame, a rook could even prevent the king from coming to the center and becoming active. Endgames, you want your king to do more work, right? Because there aren't as many threats against it. So rooks can be very useful, as you see here also on the 2nd rank. This one looks interesting. Right away, my mind goes to this, but then we lose the knight, we can lose the rook. It just looks like we're exchanging stuff for no reason. When you're going for an attack, you don't want to just exchange stuff, right? You want to keep your pieces steady and ready. So I think this check looks really good, just from just looking at it right away. Maybe not. So let's think. Let's think about the checks we have available. We have this check, which I already said I don't really like. Doesn't make sense. We're just losing a bunch of pieces or trading. Doesn't make sense. We have this check where he can win a knight. Doesn't look good. I think we need all our pieces in this attack. And we have this check. The knight check here automatically makes me think he's going to come towards our rook. Now, if he comes towards our rook, we have this check, the bishop covering. The knight covers these escape squares. And that's actually checkmate. So this forces him to go to the corner, and now our rook delivers checkmate with the knight covering here. So that's definitely the move, right? Okay. Right away, my mind comes to this move. That's almost certainly correct. Our pawn helps us here. We're anchoring. I don't know if that's the right terminology. I call it anchoring. Like the queen is anchored to the pawn because it's, I don't know, that's how I see it. And we want to go for checks. Checks are more forcing. When you see a check, it doesn't mean you do a check right away, but they force your opponent to do something. Like in this case, taking this rook isn't that good because you're giving your opponent options for what to do. They could take your queen, you could take their queen, they could take this, and you're just trading off a bunch of stuff. But if you check forced, first, you're forcing your opponent to deal with that check. And in this case, he can only go here or here. Okay. Here, if he comes here, we come in with the rook, and that's checkmate. If he comes here, it's the same exact thing. Our queen has to remain on c3 to stop the king from going to his escape square. Okay, it doesn't even go that far. It just stops the puzzle there. We're 23 in without a mistake. That's good so far. I'll try to get to 30 without a mistake, like before I started this recording. So, this check, it's the first check, so it's something to consider. And these these puzzles are helpful in games because, for those wondering, by the way, because you will get into a lot of scenarios that are similar to this. You'll get into scenarios that you might have a mate in 4 and you don't see it, and these puzzles will help you see those types of things. Puzzles aren't everything. I think positional play is very important that I especially need to work on to improve my elo, but I think to a certain level, tactics can be very useful, and tactics you can learn from puzzles, I think. So right now my mind goes immediately to this move, but I see that the king can escape. I see the king can escape, but I could still give a check, and he can come here. Then my rook can come here because the bishop is protecting, but he could take my knight. It doesn't seem like I want him to escape, right? That doesn't seem like a smart move. I'm tempted to take this pawn because now the knight covers his escape square, but we're just talking about how checks are more forcing, so let's look if there are any check lines that work better. So this check forces him here. Actually, there's two options. He could come here with the knight, but then that's checkmate, so it essentially forces him here, right, to e2. This check makes him go to e2. I would love to go to e1 for a checkmate, but his knight is in the way. So here. What's the next move? Actually, this check now works, right? This move now works. So the order of moves is also important sometimes. Like a puzzle could be correct, or a situation that you analyze, it could be correct in a different order of moves. I think checking first works because it leads to another check, which is, again, a forcing type of move. Let's see if this plan works. Check, goes to the corner. Check. He can't go backwards because of our rook. He can't go here because of our other rook. So he has two options. No, he has one option because this knight is stuck, or is there. He goes towards our knight. Okay. Can we take his bishop with a check? We can. I honestly think this line is right and we can just start going for it, but I think it's better to try to see everything because it's better practice for me, better practice for you guys, you know? Also, I have to keep in mind that the queen sees this diagonal. But anyway, we have this. Maybe we have a better check. No, this is the only check we have with the knight. And let's say he comes forward. If he comes forward, maybe we still do have this move, and he takes our knight, and we have this pawn check. Doesn't seem right. I'm just gonna go for it. I know I said I shouldn't, but it's just easier to see. I don't want to spend too much time on one puzzle. Here. If I wasn't recording, I would, but so here. That comes with the check. We give him another place to escape. Oh no, we don't, because the knight covers that. So check here. Check. He's forced backwards. Check with the bishop. And that's checkmate. Okay, so that works. See, sometimes you just need an extra move. The knight covers these two squares. The rook protects the bishop. And this rook covers these. And that's why checkmate works there. Okay. First thought is we have this attack. So if we could move the queen away, that would be nice. That's my first thought. Second thought is, what if we actually take? Because a lot of puzzles, you're sacrificing pieces. If you sacrifice the queen, does it help you give checkmate? It doesn't seem like it. The other option, which I kind of like, I was gonna say taking the knight, threatening the queen, but he doesn't need to move the queen, and our own queen is in the way. So tricky situation. This might be the first one we get wrong. Yeah, if our queen wasn't under attack, we would have many more opportunities, I feel like. Like, if we lose our queen, can we do something nice? I don't think so. I think we need our queen. Okay, let's think defensive. Maybe this puzzle is not about being aggressive. Maybe we can't do something aggressive enough. It's just this queen is in the way. It's very annoying. And we could take... Yeah, I'm really curious to see what the solution to this puzzle is. I don't see it. I honestly just don't see it. I'm missing something obvious, I feel like, because this is bad. Something feels off. I mean, we could just go for the trade here, but puzzles are not like that. They're usually more forcing. So this might, yeah. I kind of admit defeat here. I don't want to spend too much time for the recording, and I don't see the best move here. All right, I'm looking for checks. I don't see any checks that really work. Like, this just has the queen taking it. Oh, the queen can't take it because of this, but then we're just down a bishop. It doesn't seem very smart. We can come here attacking the rook, but he could just move the rook. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not so sure what the best move is here. We'll just go. Yeah, we'll just go with that. I'm really curious now, though. Aha, so it was this move. We considered this move. Why didn't I look more into what this move looks like? You see? You see, now I see how it works. I see exactly how it works. So this is a mistake I make in games too. I just don't... I'll see something. I don't like losing my queen. I feel like it has to be crazy if I lose my queen. This is like such a simple puzzle, in a way. The idea here is the knight is protecting the rook. So if you take away the protector, and if the bishop takes, you take the rook and you're just up a piece. Right? You lost a rook, but you got a knight. You lost a rook, you got a rook and a knight. When he takes your queen, you take back, and the idea is that the pawn at the end of the line takes the rook. So that was kind of sad that I got that wrong, but it's okay. It's okay. You live, you learn. Here I think it's you come here, and the reason why I think it's this, I'll say in a second, but let's actually think this through. This is a check. Bishop covers. We check. He goes in the corner, or he covers with a bishop, doesn't matter. And then this is mate because of the bishop, right? My whole thinking in this is, how do I use my bishop as support for my queen to deliver checkmate? I can't do it this way because of this bishop. So I have to get rid of the placement of this bishop. I have to move it away. So that's my initial thought. The problem that I run into with this move is the king can just move. The king is forced to move here, though, if that happens. And then I have this discovered attack, and then it's checkmate anyway. So this definitely works. Yeah. Okay. We're back on track. There's two queens hanging. And again, can't be afraid. I can't be afraid of losing queens. All right. I actually see it right here. Really clearly, I believe. You take the queen. He takes your queen. You take the bishop. You're already up a piece, threatening a rook. And you're threatening the knight. That just looks super simple. Right? And I've started paying more attention to these types of moves. That the pawn can take a piece and take another piece and take another piece. That's like a weakness that I haven't seen in a while, but I've started to see it. I think this is the move here. Like, the knight's the only protector, and then you just take it with mate. Yeah. We have this move. It's just mate, right? It's not protected by anything. This I don't understand. Some of them seem so simple, while others seem so much more difficult, for me at least. Right away, I see this bishop move coming with checkmate. The knight protects it. He has no pieces that could take our bishop. That's just checkmate. That's a weird... No, it's not. I'm dumb. Yeah, I could have gotten that wrong. This looks correct to give a check. Usually when you give checks to the king, you want to be close. So pieces can't block. But in this case, we can't be close. So he would just take us. So we can't take here either because of the queen. So this is the move that comes to mind. The rook blocks, we take, and that's checkmate. You see, this acts like a pawn, stopping the king's movement, and we could even bring a rook down to deliver mate, right? But we have the queen here, so we just bring the queen into the game. Very interesting position, very interesting. Okay, I'll just tell you guys what I thought. This and this look beautiful, but the queen covers. So this is my next thought. I will also look at lines like this, but it doesn't look like it makes sense because there's no pawn that covers. We also can't reach the king fast enough in time. And a lot of these are checkmates. This also looks like an interesting check. So let's look at both. This check... Actually, this one just looks better. So I want to look at this one first. I also considered moving the knight to check, but he could just take it here. And here we're winning, but his position looks constricted. Like we could do something about it. That's why I'm considering other moves. Okay, so this check, what can our opponent do with that check? Also, can we have a discovered attack on the queen? So here, if the pawn takes, we could come here and take the queen in some lines, maybe? All right, let's not mess this up. This check. You see, I get distracted so quickly. What does this check lead to? He can't move here because of our knight. He can't move here because of our pawn. He can't move here because of our queen. Okay, so that actually already looks really good. He can't move anywhere except backwards. Actually, he has only 2 moves, 2 legal moves, I believe. So if he moves here, do we have this check? He moves back? No, that doesn't make sense. We don't want him to move back. He moves forward. I don't know if that's right. Let's see this way. I just don't like the idea of him moving forward. This way is a similar idea, but he could come to the center. If he comes to the center, we can attack like this. And that would be pretty bad for him. But he just goes back to the same area. And maybe taking the rook is the best idea here. Damn it! I didn't see it. I didn't see the best move here. Is it here? Ah, makes sense. Makes sense. But what caused me not to see this move? This is seemingly not a hard thing to see. Yeah, I thought he would come back to this square with my next move. And I feel like I kind of said almost something like what happened. Or what the puzzle was, but... This is the same idea as before. You check, and then you bring the queen, and he can't block with anything. He goes here, and then we have this move, then he goes here. Oh, actually, it's not the same idea. Then we come here, and then he comes here, then we take. Then he could block, but then we can take with checkmate. Not checkmate, he goes to the corner. Then we come here with check. Aha! So this is what I see. It's a little long, so maybe it's wrong. But we sack the rook to get our queen into the position. He goes to the side. We come in with a check. He's forced here. We check. He's forced here. We check. If he blocks with the rook, he just loses the rook. Let's say he immediately goes for this move. Which, okay, then we take the rook. If he blocks, we come in with check. If he blocks with the rook, we come in with the bishop. I think that works. I hope that works, because I don't want this to be the last puzzle. We didn't even get to 30. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, wow. That was cool. Deflect the queen away for this and this. Bring the queen here for this. That looks right. That looks very right. Now, can he deliver any checks or checkmates? If we come here, he could come here, but we just take. His bishop's not doing anything. Yeah, this just looks... This also stops his pawn from pushing forward. He can't come here. This is checkmate. I don't know how you stop that. Yeah. Well, I do know. You can't stop it. I wonder if taking with this rook is the answer. That looks so right. That's so cool. That's so cool. Because usually you have them working together like this. But the reason why this doesn't work is because he could go to the corner and the queen stops us from taking the g2 pawn. Maybe we take with the rook. And we also have no way of taking this rook in the corner. Maybe we take with the rook. And if he moves to the center, this is mate. If he moves to that center, that's not a center, but okay. Yeah, that works. This is pinning, but we just lose the rook and the game doesn't work. This is tempting, but then what? Queen can block, doesn't make sense. This king goes to the side. We could check. I think it's necessary to get out of the bishop's eyes, and then we could probably win this rook, and maybe there's something better, but looks like it's definitely the first move. Very interestingly, we don't take this rook because then we lose our own rook, right? So we want to get our rook out of the way. I was thinking something like this, but the queen doesn't cover. He could just take our rook. Yeah, this looks like the best move. And he's forced here. Oh, and this comes with check. He's forced there because if he goes in the center, then we win his queen. So that, yeah, and then this looks devastating. That looks devastating. I just want to make sure there's nothing better. But I don't see how you survive that. Yeah, that's devastating stuff. Okay. Check. Takes. Check. Corner. Check. If he blocks, what do we do? Not so simple. Not so simple. This one's a little annoying. We could also attack the queen. That looks like a great move. Then he can come here though, but then he loses his queen. Yeah, he loses his queen. Because how do you deal with this? We could just take, and we're threatening to checkmate, right? Wow, yeah, this is definitely the move, please. Yes, thank you, God. Okay. We're on 34, baby, 34. Let's at least hit 40. My top record was 39, you know? That would be kind of fire if we hit 40. Okay, I actually had this in a game before, and so I'll never forget the idea, or maybe it was a puzzle. I think it was a game, where you could just push a pawn. And the idea here is if he just goes ballistics, taking all your other pieces, you queen. If he tries to cover it like this, your bishop covers. And there are no pawns to attack the bishop. So this is just a clear boop, and you're winning. Aha, okay. You see, I didn't see that. That's an interesting move. The rook can come around. I think it's still okay, because if we go forward, he's forced here, and our bishop comes here protecting that square. But I don't know if giving up our bishop is necessary, right? We can't block him, though. He just takes. I think we have to push. Yeah, and then the bishop coming here makes the most sense to me. Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, is there something better that I don't see? But right away, I think of taking the pawn. There's obviously no immediate checkmate threat here. So that makes this one a little more unique. If he takes, we take. If he takes, we take. That doesn't make sense for our opponent. If he takes, we could take with the king, and everything is fine, because then it also opens up the bishop. If we take here, I mean, this is just the move that comes to my mind automatically as the correct move. Takes, he takes. Maybe we could even bring our bishop in, but then he gains access to this square. Looks. Oh, no, our bishop threatens mate. Yeah, that makes sense. Our bishop threatens. No! 35. I should have thought it out more. Oh, well, we're going to try this again in the future. Oh no, I'm just going to use the hint. That's how you threaten mate, huh? Wow. And you en passant, and you have a lot of threats here. Wow. I played that too fast. You see, I should have thought it through. Wow. See, I thought this fails because of this, which leads to mate, but I forgot he could just take our bishop. That was so dumb. Oh my god. Yeah, that doesn't work. What was his best move? F3. That's not F3. F3. Just blocking any sort of ideas. Wow. Very interesting. Well, thanks for watching, guys. We're going to try this again in the future. And I'm going to link Danya's video in the description. It's kind of what gave me inspiration for this video. He's one of the best players in the world, and he made a video similar to this. And it just made me think, yeah, I got to do more puzzles. Why not show that? And hopefully help some of you guys out. And maybe you guys could help me out. So if you watched this far, I really do appreciate you. Say 50 in the comments to let me know that you watched this far. I really do appreciate you once again. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye. Hopefully next time we'll get to 40 at least.